terrifying recent archaeological discoveries that shocked scientists. You know, in the world of archaeology, we might think that all the mysteries of the past have been uncovered, but in reality, it's far from that simple. Recently, a series of archaeological discoveries have left scientists stunned, some even seriously shocked. These findings not only change the way we view history, but also reveal dark, sometimes chilling stories that we usually only see in movies. Have you ever wondered how many secrets are still waiting to be unearthed beneath the layers of time? Secrets that tell stories never heard before? Artifacts, skeletons, even mass graves. All carry the marks of a turbulent era, serving as vivid evidence of lives lost, tragedies endured, and the brutal realities of history that are hard to imagine. And here's the thing. Not every discovery brings excitement or enthusiasm. There are moments that send shivers down your spine, making you pause to reflect on the heartbreaking stories behind each artifact found. So, if you're someone who loves deep stories that are both mysterious and real, you definitely can't miss the recent shocking archaeological discoveries I'm about to reveal in this video. Let's explore what these findings are and why they have the entire scientific community frozen right now. Mummy bathing in glacier on Mexico's highest mountain peak for 30 years. Have you ever imagined the scene of a mummy lying exposed in the middle of a glacier atop the highest mountain peak, covered in snow all year round? This isn't from a horror movie or a history documentary. It's a real event that just happened on the summit of Pico de Orizaba, the highest mountain in Mexico, standing at 18,406 feet above sea level, about a 5-hour drive from Mexico City. The story began when a group of experts on a survey expedition discovered a frozen body trapped within the endless white glacier. What made everyone shiver was that this person wasn't wearing any mountaineering gear at all. No specialized boots, no cold weather jacket, not even a backpack or rope, just ordinary clothes, as if they had no intention of climbing one of the most dangerous mountains in the world. The mummy was found about 1,000 feet below the summit, an extremely treacherous and bone-chilling spot. Yet surprisingly, the body remained remarkably well preserved thanks to the natural ice that had kept it frozen for decades, maybe even longer. As soon as the mummy was discovered, scientists began to propose a series of hypotheses. Some believe this might be the final piece of a story about 3 climbers who disappeared more than 55 years ago. Not long ago, 2 other mummies were found near the peak of Pico de Orizaba, and local folklore has passed down tales of 3 missing people. Could this newly discovered mummy be the 3rd person from that fateful climb? It sounds plausible, but things are not that simple. First, the location where this mummy was found does not match where the other 2 were discovered. Second, this person clearly wasn't prepared for mountaineering. No gear, no appropriate clothing, no sign of an explorer at all. It's almost as if they appeared here by some impossible chance or were brought here unintentionally. So, who is this mummy? And why did they die on the glacier in the freezing cold without any protective equipment? Currently, the most reasonable hypothesis supported by experts is that the victim may have died in a plane crash back in 1990, right in the Pico de Orizaba area. According to some records, there was a small plane crash that year, but due to the harsh terrain and snow cover, neither the body nor the wreckage was found until now. This mummy could very well be the victim of that air accident. However, everything is still a big question mark. The identity of this person, the exact cause of death, and whether there are more bodies yet to be discovered, all are still being investigated by scientists and investigators. This story surely sends chills down your spine, right? On this cold, towering mountain where humans can barely survive without specialized gear, a long-buried mystery has suddenly been uncovered beneath layers of ice and snow for decades. What do you think? Is this really a plane crash victim? Or is there a more mysterious, untold story behind this mummy? Leave a comment below so we can decode this mystery together. 800-year-old red-haired mummy coated in copper found in Russia. In a remote, icy, and wild region of northern Russia, where it seems like nothing but endless snow and bone-chilling winds exist, archaeologists recently peeled back the veil of time to excavate a mysterious ancient burial ground. And you won't believe this. Among the mummies resting beneath the frozen soil, one stands out. A man with bright red hair, his entire body covered in a shiny copper coating. Sounds like a scene from a fantasy movie, right? But no, this is 100% real. A total of 34 ancient graves were uncovered in this area. Most of the mummies were covered with copper masks over their faces, a detail that makes identifying them nearly impossible. Yet, what remains from this ancient world is enough to leave scientists stunned. The most remarkable of them all is the red-haired man's mummy, estimated to be around 800 years old. Not only is his hair still strikingly red after centuries, but his body is also coated with copper from chest to toe, as if someone deliberately crafted an armor to escort him to the afterlife. Next to this mummy were a number of unusual artifacts, including an iron axe, a set of animal furs, a copper lock, and dozens of items that seem to have once held great significance in ancient beliefs. But it doesn't end there. Archaeologists also discovered 5 other mummies, a woman, a child, and 3 newborn infants, all wrapped in fur from reindeer, beaver, and bear, combined with copper sheets. This might have been a way the ancients protected the dead from decomposition, or perhaps it was a symbolic religious ritual unknown to us today. However, if you think only the mummies are valuable, you'd be wrong. Among the graves, a rare treasure trove of artifacts was found. A copper bowl originating from Persia, dating back to the 10th or 11th century. Iron knives, silver medals, and even copper bird figurines from the 7th to 9th centuries. All these items indicate that the people here once engaged in trade and cultural exchange with major civilizations thousands of miles away. So, who were they? An isolated tribe? A once glorious culture now lost to history? It's hard to say. But Natalia Fyodorova, a researcher at the Russian Academy of Sciences, shared, "They were completely surprised by the large number of mummies found, and what intrigued them the most was that all the mummies were positioned facing the Poli River. This could have a profound religious meaning that we cannot yet explain." Experts are still working to decode this mystery, hoping to uncover clues about the identity, lifestyle, beliefs, and ancient civilization that once thrived in this frozen land. So, what do you think? Why was the red-haired man so carefully equipped? Was he a leader, a great warrior, or someone with a special mission? A 1,000-year-old dumpling, still intact in a Tang Dynasty tomb. Have you ever imagined that the humble dumpling, the same kind we often eat during Lunar New Year or on ordinary days, could survive for over 1,000 years, perfectly preserved in an ancient tomb from China's Tang Dynasty? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but this is 100% real. In 1959, archaeologists excavating a special burial site in Turpan, located in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region of China, made a truly remarkable discovery. This tomb wasn't just the resting place of the deceased, it held a treasure trove of traditional foods, including several dumplings that remained surprisingly intact, almost completely undamaged after lying underground for more than a millennium. Just imagine, after centuries, these tiny dumplings have retained their original shape, color, and even texture, from the smooth dough wrapper and the filling inside to the golden hue on the outside, almost exactly like the ones we see today. It's hard to believe, isn't it? In addition to the dumplings, archaeologists found a variety of other traditional pastries and desserts inside the tomb, including mooncakes, sweet treats, and other delicacies. These finds reveal just how rich, refined, and diverse Tang Dynasty cuisine truly was, with incredible attention to detail. At first glance, it might seem impossible that food could be preserved for so long, since most foods spoil rather quickly. However, thanks to the unique climate conditions in Turpan, known for its extreme heat and prolonged droughts, the food dehydrated rapidly, in a way similar to modern freeze-drying techniques. This natural drying process allowed the items to remain preserved over the centuries without decaying. That's why these discoveries are considered priceless, not just to archaeologists, but also to culinary historians and cultural researchers studying ancient Chinese traditions. And you know what? Based on the types of food found in the tomb, experts believe the person buried there likely belonged to the upper class or was quite wealthy. After all, not everyone could afford to be buried with such refined and luxurious delicacies. In ancient times, burying the dead with food and valuable items wasn't just a sign of status. It also reflected the hope that the deceased would live a comfortable, abundant life in the afterworld. This is why, in ancient tombs across Asia, we often find favorite dishes, jewelry, clothing, and other meaningful artifacts buried alongside the dead. So, let me ask you this. In today's world, do you think our traditional foods could survive intact for thousands of years like these did? Or maybe discoveries like this will inspire scientists to develop better methods for long-term food preservation that we can use in modern life. I think this isn't just a story about archaeology or cuisine. It's a fascinating journey back through time, showing the deep connection between people and their culture, captured in every dish and artifact, no matter how many centuries have passed. How about you? If you could explore an ancient Asian dish that's still perfectly preserved, what would you want to see? As for me, I'd love to see a 1,000-year-old boiled egg. That's right, I'm a die-hard egg lover, and I'm genuinely curious what one would look like after all that time. Millennia-old remains found, resting in a Viking death ship. Did you know that buried deep within modern-day Sweden lies a 1,000-year-old secret still waiting to be fully uncovered? A rare and astonishing archaeological discovery was recently made in the village of Gamla Uppsala, capturing the attention of both experts and history lovers alike. It all began during a church expansion project when workers unexpectedly stumbled upon two ancient graves shaped exactly like ships, a unique burial type not everyone is familiar with, known as Viking ship burials. At first, people assumed they had simply found abandoned old boats. But as excavation began, an incredible truth was revealed. Inside the ships were not just wooden hulls, but human remains and valuable personal items. In one of the ship graves, archaeologists discovered the skeleton of a man, buried alongside the remains of a horse and a dog. According to experts, these animals were likely beloved companions or were intentionally buried with their owner as part of a distinctive cultural practice. But what truly shocked everyone were the grave goods found beside the remains. A sharp sword, a spear, a sturdy shield, and even an intricately decorated comb. These items made it clear that this was no ordinary individual. According to historians, only the wealthiest and most powerful people of the time were granted the honor of a ship burial, a true symbol of high social status. And the story gets even more fascinating. Archaeologists revealed that the ships used for these burials weren't symbolic replicas. They were real, fully functional Viking ships, constructed with extraordinary craftsmanship. Made of wood and fastened using iron rivets in traditional Viking style, these ships demonstrate the advanced boat-building skills and organizational capability of Viking society. The second grave, although not as well preserved as the first, was actually larger and may have held the remains of two individuals. This raises intriguing questions about the relationship between those buried together. Perhaps they were close family members or trusted comrades in arms. Anton Seiler, the lead archaeologist on the excavation, explained that this is a rare and invaluable opportunity for Swedish archaeology to dive deeper into Viking burial customs. With today's modern analytical technologies, researchers hope to uncover more about the lives, rituals, and social standing of those laid to rest in these extraordinary ship graves. Knut Pasha, a cultural heritage expert from Norway, noted that ship burials were the ultimate symbol of power and wealth in ancient Scandinavia. Those buried in such vessels may have been kings, queens, noble warriors, or other highly influential figures in Viking society. But for now, all of this remains speculation. Who exactly lies in these death ships? Were they truly rulers or elite warriors? Or do they hold secrets yet to be revealed? Only time and science will tell. Hopefully, future research will help us uncover the full story behind these incredible Viking burials. A 1,000-year-old tomb beneath the pitch-black water. In ancient China, burial customs were held in the highest regard, especially among the nobility, where funerals were not just a farewell to the dead, but also a way to display status and power. As a result, many tombs were built with extraordinary care, filled with treasures, some of which are now considered priceless cultural relics. But this also meant many of these tombs were hidden under layers of time and mystery. And when they are accidentally unearthed, they often send shockwaves through the archaeological world. This strange and fascinating story began back in the 1970s, in a remote village in Jiangsu Province, China. At the time, a local villager was digging a well in his courtyard when he encountered something strange. At a depth of about 10 feet, he hit a hard layer of earth, and suddenly, a thick stream of pitch-black water surged upward. The man assumed it was just dirty underground water and didn't think much of it. But no matter where he dug, the same thing happened. More black water and more of that unbreakable hard layer beneath. Eventually, the mystery faded into obscurity, and the incident was forgotten. That is, until 20 years later, in the 1990s, when the area was being redeveloped. A government geologist was sent to survey the land, and immediately noticed something odd. In the same courtyard where the well had once been dug, large pits of black water still remained. What's more, strange green-blue reflections could be seen shimmering from the stones beneath the surface. Sensing this was no ordinary geological phenomenon, he filed a report and invited archaeologists to investigate. After conducting a detailed survey, the team uncovered a shocking truth. Beneath that black water was an ancient tomb. Soon after, they confirmed the burial site belonged to a descendant of the Sima family, a powerful clan during the Three Kingdoms period of ancient China. The person buried there was none other than Sima Huang, the grandson of the legendary Sima Yi, a military strategist often considered the equal of Zhuge Liang. Sima Yi's descendants later went on to establish the Western Jin dynasty after overthrowing the state of Wei. The excavation revealed 9 tombs, stunning the entire archaeological team. According to historical records, in the year 280 AD, Sima Yan became emperor and appointed Sima Huang as governor of the Jiangsu region. In 296 AD, Sima Huang died from illness and was buried with great care. However, since historical texts never recorded the exact location of his tomb, it remained lost for over 1,000 years, until now, thanks to that mysterious black water. But the excitement was mixed with regret. Of the 9 tombs uncovered, 8 were identified as reburial sites, most of which had been looted long ago. Many of the original treasures buried with the dead had vanished. Thankfully, a few valuable artifacts remained, offering crucial clues for archaeologists. These relics not only reflect the lifestyle and beliefs of ancient Chinese nobility, but also open new doors for deeper research into the Three Kingdoms period and the Western Jin dynasty. Even though most of the grave goods were lost to history, the discovery of Sima Huang's tomb marks a major milestone in Chinese archaeology. It solves a historical mystery that had remained unanswered for millennia and proves that sometimes seemingly trivial things like murky black water from an old well can hide monumental secrets of the past. And surely, this story will continue to captivate generations to come. After all, who knows what other ancient secrets still lie buried beneath the deep, silent earth, waiting for their moment to emerge. Mass grave of 28 bodies found in Sudan, a chilling discovery of sacrifice and betrayal. A mass grave, yet not one holding ordinary civilians, but military officers who once dared to rise against a brutal regime. Could such a story be true? If it sounds like fiction, then let me take you to Sudan, where an archaeological discovery has just been announced, one that has shocked the world and raised unsettling questions about the dark corners of history long kept hidden. Right in the heart of Omdurman city, 28 human remains have been unearthed, all belonging to men who risked their lives in an attempt to overthrow former President Omar al-Bashir back in 1990. But what's even more painful than the grave itself is the story behind it, a tale of betrayal, violence, and the heavy cost of resistance. The excavation spanned 3 weeks, involving 22 experts from various fields working tirelessly under the scorching sun and the weight of a painful past. Led by prosecutor Taglsir al-Heber, the team uncovered not just bones, but undeniable proof of a bloody conspiracy that had been buried, both literally and figuratively, for decades. At least 28 of these remains belonged to soldiers who had the courage to stand up to Bashir. They were captured and brutally executed after the failed 1990 coup attempt. To you, this might sound like just another historical event, but for the people of Sudan, it is a wound that has never healed. The Bashir regime, notorious for its dictatorship and cruelty, didn't hesitate to crush anyone who dared to challenge its power. This grave is not just a final resting place, it's a haunting reminder of a dark era when human lives were disposable and moral values were traded for fear and violence. And did you know? This is only the second mass grave discovered in over 3 decades since Bashir took power in 1989. What's more disturbing is that many victims weren't just coup soldiers. Millions of civilians also lost their lives during bloody wars and the horrific genocide in Darfur. When viewed through the lens of official reports, these tragedies might seem like unfortunate accidents, but opposition groups claim otherwise, that these were deliberate actions aimed at silencing dissent and fortifying Bashir's grip on power. One particularly alarming detail: The regime at the time reported that 55 soldiers had drowned when their boat capsized while crossing a river. But the truth behind that explanation may point to a calculated massacre, with the real number of victims possibly exceeding 100. This is a brutal story of oppression, where human lives were reduced to pawns in a ruthless game of power. Have you ever wondered if efforts like this, exhuming graves and uncovering the truth, can truly bring justice to the victims and their families? I believe that while we can't change the past, shedding light on such atrocities is a crucial first step toward acknowledging pain and ensuring that the blood-soaked lessons of history are never forgotten. And there you have it. Each archaeological discovery isn't just a piece of history. It's an emotional and mysterious story that makes us stop and reflect. What do you think about the horrifying truths that scientists have just uncovered? If you're curious to explore even deeper mysteries, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming discoveries. Together, we'll keep unveiling the surprising and fascinating secrets of history. For now, thank you for watching, and see you next time.